Welcome back to Hope's Homemade Kitchen. Today we're doing a video that is the last of my series on meals for one using Costco Rotisserie chicken. Today we're going to take the carcass and the bones and throw some vegetables in and make a very nice broth. Let's get started and I'll show you the ingredients. For the chicken stock or chicken broth, I'll be using celery, green onions, carrots, yellow onions, a little bundle of thyme, minced garlic, whole peppercorns, bay leaves, a few dashes of parsley flakes, the bones and carcass and skins of the chicken, and I'm also going to be adding a little bit of chicken base. It's not completely necessary, but it does just add a little extra boost of flavor. Okay, I'm going to bring over my pot that I'm going to be using for the broth. And really all you need to do, this is what I reserved in the refrigerator from the Costco Rotisserie chicken. Reserved all of the bones, the juice from it. All of it adds flavor. There's a few pieces of chicken in there. The wings that provide a lot of flavor. All right, throw in the thyme bundle, and I'm just going to roughly cut these onions. So once all of this is cooked, I'll actually be pulling out a lot of these things and just saving the broth. And then from that broth, we'll be cooking a chicken soup. Just cut off the ends from the carrots. You don't really even have to peel them. Same with the onions, the green onions. And I'm just going to chop off the dirty ends of the celery. I've washed all these vegetables. Then just very roughly chop. And I'm going to be adding probably a tablespoon or so of minced garlic, a couple of bay leaves, some whole black peppercorns, a few parsley flakes. And this is the part that's not necessary because your chicken and your vegetables are going to provide a good chicken base, but I'm just going to give it a little boost. This is the Sam's Club version of Better Than Bouillon. It is called Members Mark Chicken Base. So I'm just going to add a big spoonful of that. And then I'm going to fill it up with enough water to cover all of the ingredients. And I'm just going to start with cold water. Okay, that'll give it a really good start. Set it on the stove. Turn it up to high so it can start a good boil. Okay, now you see it's come to a nice boil. You can already see that nice color in there from all the vegetables. Some good flavor. Turn it down to low, put the lid on, and we will be back. Okay, so this is about halfway through the simmer time, and it's looking so good. Okay, now the soup has been cooling off for a couple of hours. I cooked it for 2.5 hours. So now I'm going to strain it. And we'll separate out some for soup and some to use. If we have enough, we'll have some stock to use for later. So some people use those vegetables, they'll chop them up and turn around and use it in the soup itself, and that's fine. You can certainly do that. I've always been told that once it's cooked up in a stock like this, they've kind of depleted in flavor. So I'm going to put fresh vegetables in. There's still a little bit of meat on those bones, so pick it as much as you can, but be careful with the little bones. Now, since we picked so much of the meat off and used in other meals, there's not going to be a ton of meat left for the soup, but there'll be enough to have chicken soup. Okay, I'm going to strain it again, put it back into the pot. Now, considering this was a Meals for One series, we ended up at the end here with a lot of good chicken stock that can be used for many meals. I'm going to reserve some chicken stock, and then with what we have left, I'm going to make a chicken soup. So you can see how many uses that you can get from just one rotisserie chicken. So these will even freeze well for later, or you can keep them in the refrigerator and use it within the next week. Okay, I went through and I picked all of the bones and got about another half a cup of meat. When we deboned the chicken originally, we took as much meat as we could to make those meals for one earlier in the week. So I just have a few vegetables here that I'm going to chop up and we'll put in that remaining broth, and we will do a chicken soup. I'm not going to season it a lot because it's already been seasoned with everything that we cooked with it earlier, except for salt. I'll check for salt and see how much salt it needs. And you have the option of sauteing these newly diced fresh vegetables if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put them right into the soup. Just dice them in however big of pieces you want. So I have some onion, some green onion, the tops and bottoms, carrots, and celery. If you have a bag of mixed vegetables, you could use that if you wanted to instead. It'd certainly be easier. I think I've decided I'm going to use pasta. I've got some very small little pasta called farfallini pasta from Trader Joe's. I'll put that in towards the end because it won't take much cooking time at all. You could also use potatoes or rice. I'm going to let that come to a boil and then put the lid on and let them cook until they're softened. Also the chicken here that we had left. Add a little pepper. Just add a little salt to taste. It's going to a good boil now. I found some frozen green beans. I thought I would add in there. Like I say, you could add in a bag of mixed vegetables, corn, peas, whatever you like. So I'm going to put the lid on and let those cook for a bit. Okay, the veggies are done. It's smelling really good. I'm going to add my pasta now. I got some of this Trader Joe's organic farfallini pasta. I'm only going to add about 1 cup of the dry pasta. Okay, we'll let that cook until the pasta is ready, and then it'll be ready to serve. Okay, the pasta's ready in there. So now I'm going to dip up some soup and we will give it a taste test. Okay, now we're ready for a taste test of the chicken noodle soup using our Costco Rotisserie chicken that we made into chicken stock and then into a chicken and noodle soup. That is a very comforting soup. It's not just to eat when you're sick. It's a good comforting soup for lunch or dinner anytime. In this last episode, we used that rotisserie chicken bones to make such a good flavorful meal, and also to have some extra stock to have when we are cooking other meals. That one rotisserie chicken went a long way. Thank you for joining me again in this series of Meals for One at Hope's Homemade Kitchen. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and ring that bell for more videos. We'll see you next time.